And it's on this night and on this day that I ask you to leave any sort of embarrassment at the door. When you enter today and when you sit here and when the poetry starts, imagine you're elsewhere, and I need not say where. Leave any of that embarrassment that you have about wailing elsewhere. Tonight is a night to engage, to engross yourself, to immerse within the azah, in the remembrance and in the sha'a'ir of Imam al-Hussein, the rituals of Imam al-Hussein. Before we get into it all, I must say from this point, because I may not get an opportunity at a latter point, our extended thanks to the Leicester Jamaat. You can see what a wonderful job they've already put on for us by hosting us, allowing us to use their center for this project. And I feel it's quite apt to share a hadith which really replicates what they've done for us today. And this comes from none other than Nabi Allah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa And he says, no sooner does a Muslim serve a group of Muslims than Allah will then give him servants equal in number to the group, but this time in paradise. And that's what this brotherhood and sisterhood is about. To allow their doors to be open, to come in with no bureaucracy involved. Come in and just remember the one who we serve day to day. And inshallah, that's what we're going to do. So, before we welcome our first reciter, perhaps something to set the scene. Tonight, we're going to specifically spend a lot of time, especially in the Masa'ib, on remembering the 4 or 5-year-old young daughter of Imam al-Hussein. Now, I know there's been a lot of stuff in the news in the past few days about the tragic events across Paris, Beirut, Baghdad, etc., and it's a norm for us to hear about this. But I want you to get in tune with the thought of a daughter, of a niece, of a sister, of a cousin that you may have of that age. And let her be your focal point for this evening. And let that emotion sink in. We'll continue with that a little bit later, but to start tonight's proceedings, I welcome a name who I'm sure many of you recognize here in Leicester, mostly known for his recitations in Urdu, but has now taken on the banner of English alongside him as well in serving Imam al-Hussein. We welcome Brother Imran Datu with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Before I begin, let us remember the innocent lives that have been lost over the recent days against the terror attacks, whether it be in Syria, Beirut, Paris, wherever. For those innocent lives, let us remember them with the Surah Al-Mubarakatul Fatiha. This poem that inshallah I will be reading today is regarding the princes of Sayyidah Zainab alayhim as-salam, Aun and Muhammad. And it is about when she is crying out to them after their death. And this one was written by a dear friend of mine, and inshallah we will have the honor of listening to him tonight as well. Brother Nuri Sardar, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him for his efforts. Salla ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Go to sleep, my precious sons. Go to sleep, my precious sons. On the day of setting suns, goodbye my sons, Aun and Muhammad. O day in which I've seen the setting of sons that won't rise. Forgive me if for my sons you won't see tears in my eyes. There are too many others that are in need of my cries. My sons, there are 70 others that have upon them weeping mothers, burnt out candles and blood red feathers. Goodbye, my sons, Own and Muhammad. Forgive me, sons, if in death you don't hear your mother weep. I see nothing but beauty watching you in your blood sleep. But my eyes are distracted watching fire intense seep. I know you lay there in that desert, but I'm choked by smoke and my lungs hurt, yearning the scent of Abbas's shirt. Goodbye, my sons, Own and Muhammad. How can I weep for the sons that my arms would once cradle, when I watch the smoke and wind sway Asghar's empty cradle, and see Rabab's skin turned grey as she stands by it idle, our throats strangled by smoke in the air, yearning patience whilst yearns us despair, as they cry, where is our Father, where? Goodbye, my sons, Own and Muhammad. If I weep for you, who will weep for that candle burnt out, the lion cub of Mujtaba, his body thrown about, the child who wed the sword in faith with no ounce of doubt. I can't leave Faywa morning alone, for the strikes that reached her child's bone, the groom that chose dust before a throne. Goodbye, my sons, Own and Muhammad. Forgive me, Own, if my eyes forget you and your brother. In Akbar's body I see Muhammad, my grandfather, and his head was struck, and his head was struck, just like my father's head in Kufa. I saw an Ali's head struck again. To Ali's were too much, oh what pain, and by him fell his father Hussein. Goodbye my sons, Own and Muhammad. How shy I am to weep and catch my tears with my two hands when I see the hands of my Abbas strewn upon the sands, when usually I call his name and straight away he stands. I called his name complaining of thirst, but watched